This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Diamond walking into another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And their birthday boy for today, November the 4th, which is also my mom's birthday, if you must know. So today, my mom will turn 73 years old. But anyway, this guy also has a November 4th birthday like my mom, but not on the same date. He was a former wide receiver in the NFL. He played college football for Oklahoma State, was doing pretty well, but he violated NCAA bylaw and missed most of his junior season. But nonetheless, he decided to declare for the 2010 NFL draft, and Dallas picked him up. He was a great Dallas player for 8 years, and then was acquired by the Saints. But Drones there, and they went to Baltimore for the COVID year of 2020. His name is Des Bryant. He's now 36 years old. Des Bryant was born on Galveston Island in Texas, November 4th, 1988. His family moved to Lufkin, Texas when he went to Lufkin High School. And he was a pretty good player, 21 touchdowns in his senior year in high school. He was named to participate in the All-American Bowl for high schoolers. He was a pretty good track star, too. Anyway, recruiting-wise, he was a decent wide receiver. Many of the Big 12 programs wanted him. Texas A&M and Texas Tech almost got him, but then he committed to OK State. He would play for OK State, coached by the great Mike Gundy, who basically defended one of his players from doing the right thing, and a newspaper reporter tearing that quarterback to shreds, saying, "Where are we in society today that we're attacking someone who's doing the right thing? That's why I don't read the newspapers, because it's garbage." And the editor who let this in is garbage too. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40. But regardless of that, Dez would make his collegiate debut September 1st, 2007 against Georgia and had 7 yards. Of course, you know that 2007 season, historically spooky. His first collegiate touchdown was from Zach Robinson as K-State beat Texas Tech. No, Oklahoma State. I thought Zach Robinson was from K-State. Regardless of that. He did participate in the 2007 Insight Bowl, 9 catches for 117 yards, as the Cowboys beat Indiana. He had 6 receiving touchdowns in 12 games. In his sophomore season, he had 3 receiving touchdowns and 236 receiving yards against Houston in a 56-37 win. He would get a lot of things. He would have 4 receiving touchdowns in one game against ISU, or Iowa State for sure. Oklahoma State went to the Holiday Bowl against Oregon, having 13 catches for 167 yards and a receiving touchdown, but they lost. He would finish with 87 receptions for 1,480 receiving yards and 19 touchdowns. Unfortunately, on October 7th, after playing 3 games, 332 plus receiving yards and 4 receiving touchdowns, it looked good for him. Unfortunately, though, he failed to fully disclose his interaction with Deion Sanders to the NCAA, I think because they think that Deion Sanders was going to talk to him about the NFL. But that stupid NCAA bylaw just ruined him and all that. Dez had enough. He decided to head to the NFL. Anyway, people said that they weren't too sure about it. The Cowboys decided to do something about it and make sure that they get their wide receiver. That's what they wanted. To get their wide receiver. He was the second wide receiver taken. Demetrius Thomas went to Denver, and man, he had that touchdown catch against Pittsburgh in 2012 playoffs. That was huge. But the Cowboys wanted Des Bryant. Well, it was Texas play. So Philadelphia, Denver, and New England, via their contributions, the Cowboys got the 24th pick of the draft and took Des Bryant from OK State. The Patriots would or get Dallas's pick, which was 27th, and take Devin McCourty. Not a bad move. Love you. I love you. So yeah. So anyway, the Cowboys did their job with Des Bryant. He signed a contract of $5 million, 5 years, $12 million. Bryant would wear number 88, putting him in elite company in Dallas history, as Michael Irvin and Drew Pearson both wore those numbers. That number. Bryant would make his NFL debut against Washington, 8 catches for 56 yards. He would have a punt return touchdown and a loss to the Bears, but that was huge. He caught his first touchdown catch from Tony Romo, October 17th. He had a 93-yard punt return for a touchdown as the Cowboys played the Giants. And also had two receiving touchdowns. Unfortunately, though, Bryant in the fourth quarter against the Colts on November 15th was actually tackled by Cavell Connor, but Connor held on to Bryant's leg, and Bryant had to be taken to the locker room. He had a fractured ankle and had to have surgery and all that. So he did finish his rookie season with 6 receiving touchdowns and would have multiple punt returns for a touchdown, the first rookie since Kevin Williams in 1993. He was named to the All-Rookie team. Then Bryant was made the starter receiver alongside Miles Austin. He had 9 touchdown receptions. And then Des Bryant was criticized for a few bad games in 2012. Nevertheless, he did put up 7 straight games with a touchdown catch, tying the Cowboys record set by Franklin Clark, Bullet Bob Hayes, and even Terrell Owens. He had 224 yards receiving against the Saints, which was the 4th most in franchise history. He would have 12 touchdown receptions, 3rd in the NFL. But unfortunately, injuries throughout the second half would actually ruin him in a sense. Nevertheless, in 2013, he returned. The Cowboys did not do so well, but he did. He had 13 touchdown catches, which was a career high. Entering the final year of his rookie contract, he did improve and got 16 touchdown catches, breaking Terrell Owens' Cowboy mark of 15. And it's kind of weird how Des Bryant played for the Cowboys in college, a team called the Cowboys, and then in the pros. Regardless, he looked pretty good and all that. Bryant's production would actually decline with Romo being injured. And then they had Brandon Weeden, like the 30-year-old rookie, if you will. Nevertheless, Dallas did win 12 games and were tops in the NFL in that mark. He had 16 touchdown receptions, which was pretty impressive. It was a tough game against the Lions and all that. Dallas did win that game. But Bryant would actually be the focal point for Dallas' divisional round game in Green Bay. The Packers won 26-21, but that wasn't the big story. The big story was that Bryant had a catch. Well, it was 4th and 2 from the Packers' 32. Bryant caught the ball with both feet coming out of bounds. Bryant bobbled the ball as he stretched towards the 1-yard line. And referees initially ruled Bryant down at the 1-yard line. But after a challenge from Packers coach Mike McCarthy, it said that he did not finish the process of catching the ball, so it was incomplete. He was upset that the catch was overturned and all that. Yeah, and the VP of officiating, Dean Blandino, said that Bryant went to the ground, but by rule he has to hold on it throughout the entire process of contacting the ground. And all that. So, yeah, the Packers won that game. I was infuriated that Des Bryant didn't get the touchdown. Okay, it's not a touchdown. He's at the 1-yard line, but man, how about that? but Bryant was given a 5-year, $70 million extension. Unfortunately, though, in the regular season opener against the Giants, he left the game with a foot injury. I believe that was the same game that Odell Beckham Jr. is going. Oh, I made that catch. Anyway, an X-ray revealed a fracture in his foot, and he had to be out for 4 to 6 weeks. He came back in week 8, though. He was only limited to 9 games and got 3 touchdown catches. He had to go through foot and ankle surgeries. So, anyway, Bryant would have to miss some time because of a hairline fracture in his left knee. He still got 8 touchdown receptions in 13 games played, and Dallas did win 13 games and all that. He was named to the Pro Bowl, replacing Julio Jones, who couldn't take part in the Pro Bowl because his team was in the Super Bowl. So he did all that. And on November 3rd, 2017, he passed Bob Hayes for the most touchdown receptions by a Cowboy. He made 6 of them throughout the years. Cowboys won 9 games, and after 8 years with the Cowboys, they just flat out released him. The Saints decided to pick him up midway through the 2018 season, signing him for 1 year, $1.25 million, which was great. The only problem was that in team practice, Bryant tore his Achilles tendon, and practically he was done for. That was going to be one of the worst feelings in the world for the Saints. In 2019, he said he would rehab and train from the Achilles tendon and didn't play for a team. But Baltimore needed some players because of the COVID season. So October 2020, he was signed to the practice squad and then played a couple of games in weeks 9 and 10 before being back to the practice squad. He actually tested positive for COVID before week 13 against the Cowboys. He did catch a touchdown pass against the Jaguars and the Giants. 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns. So that was good in a sense. So in his career with Dallas and Baltimore, can't count New Orleans because he never played for New Orleans in an actual game. 119 games, 75 touchdown catches, and 7,500 yards receiving. That's pretty good. That's almost like 100 yards per touchdown. In the postseason, he did play 2 games for the 2020 Ravens, but didn't do anything. He still has Cowboy franchise records for consecutive games with a receiving touchdown with 7, like we said, and receiving touchdowns by Cowboys, 73. Bryant did have a troubled upbringing. He was born to a teenage mother who was actually arrested for doing crack cocaine. So he actually had to live in 8 different homes while attending high school. And he has 2 sons and all that. So anyway, there were some misdemeanors and all that. But in the end of things, Des Bryant was a pretty good receiver for Dallas. And man, I wish he had that touchdown catch against the Packers in that divisional round game. I just wish. Anyhow, I'm just having to do.